Welcome to In the Name of Jerusalem. This is another special feature for the Warband mod. If you'd like to check out the mod, there is a link in the description. I'm pretty excited for this because a lot of people have been suggesting it to me, and as always in special features we will be starting from the very beginning and experiencing the new player experience basically. So we'll see how the mod deals with new players and how, what kind of greeting we are going to get. Anyway, let's do this. Let's continue. We're going to play as male. You can actually start as a lord, as you can see right there, so that's pretty awesome. You can select your religion as well. We'll play Roman Catholics, why not? And as you can see, the European Christians have occupied Jerusalem for nearly 100 years. On the other hand, the brutal rule and poverty pushed people away from Europe, seeking opportunity and salvation in the Holy Land. Whereas Saladin was leading his Muslim brothers to reconquer Jerusalem, pushing crusaders out once and for all. Now choose your character background. Alright, so we can play as a noble, peasant, or a priest. I suppose we'll play as a noble, because that might be the easiest start. Usually in special features I will try to go for the easiest start, just so that we can experience as much of the mod as possible, because this is kind of a window into the mod, letting you see exactly what it's all about, so you know whether it's worth a download for you. Anyway, and yeah, let's do it. Let's go. And now we can choose a banner almost immediately. That's pretty fantastic. No idea which one to choose. I guess I'll just choose this one, and then we will be calling ourselves I guess Barney. I don't know. It's not really a fitting name, but it's just a special feature after all. Anyway, let's take a look at our stats right here. So with the selections that I've currently made, you can see I have 4 in leadership, which is actually kind of crazy. I'm actually going to go for a lot of strength, because we already have a decent amount of intelligence, agility, and charisma, and all that sort of wonderful stuff. We're going to go for pathfinding, obviously, to make sure that we don't actually get caught too easily, and then I'm just going to spec into shield. Now, my proficiencies, we have one-handed and pole arms. Pretty good, not too bad. We're going to randomize a little bit here. Yeah, I guess we'll go for something like this, shall we? That's a classic Barney look, isn't it? That's an absolutely classic Barney look. Okay, so let's do this. So this is Palestine, the land where Jesus was born. Countless treasures, legendary lands full of milk and honey. So is this true? Okay, so yeah. Now what I have heard about the mod so far is that the English in the conversations is not the greatest. I appreciate the effort that has gone into attempting to do something cool here with this, but obviously, if it's particularly broken, I won't be able to particularly go through that. But that's the point. In general, you get the gist of it, so that's all you need to know. If you want to know more about the Holy Land, I suggest you go to the camp to find a traveler after you get off the ship. He has been at the camp for several years. When you know enough information, you can go to Jerusalem. There we go. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so let us see what we can do. So I can't actually leave yet, so as you can see, we are going to be getting off the ship, and then we will attempt to find the traveler in the camp. But this is a really, really cool start to a mod, because usually, you know what it is. It's the bandit. The bandit attacks you, and then you have to try and defend yourself, and then the merchant comes up and he's like, "Oh, you must save my brother," or something along those lines. So this is a really, really cool difference here, because you can see we have look at how many people. Look at how many people are walking over there. It's pretty fantastic, and they have given us a wonderful arrow to follow, which is really nice. Alright, so now we can ask a variety of different questions, and we can ask what's going on, we can ask about the history and everything. I'm not going to be going through all of this, because if you want to download the mod, then you obviously will already, want to read this and all that stuff. So anyway, let's see, what are military orders after we repopulate the Holy Land? They're always harassing us, eh? Okay. Right, okay, so that's fine. Okay, so that's just a little bit of a background story right there. So now we can press tab to leave, and look at this. I actually already have a bunch of troops, which I very much appreciate. So let's take a look at the map, because this is obviously going to be very historically accurate. It's going to be geographically accurate as much as possible, because it is, historically based. And you can see here, whoa, wow, that is an insane large, look at that. What a large faction that is. Okay, so yeah, this is obviously the Sultanate which we are at war against at the moment, and obviously we are going to have to do battle with them. Are we at war against anyone else? Antioch is okay. Armenia's okay. Another Sultanate up here, the Greens. They're going to be a bit difficult to deal with, I suppose, being so far up there. But otherwise, this is a massive map. It really is a massive map. Oh, look at this. Who do we have here? Cyprus. Cyprus is actually here too. They are relatively small factions, so they might have some difficulties, you know, doing something there. But I guess we'll find out. What a massive map it is. That is crazy. Okay, so where am I right now? I'm all the way over here, aren't I? Yes, okay. So let's go into, you know, I'm actually just going to go straight into the town because it would be a nice idea to have a look and see exactly what's going on here. So let's go into the tavern and actually see if we can find some people. So who's this? Hello there. This is mercenaries. Okay, so I actually don't have, I'm not entirely sure how much money I have, so it might make sense. Ooh, look at that. You can actually enter the prison from the menu itself. I think that's a really cool feature. I like that a lot. And we have, what? We have 3,500 dinars to start? That is absolutely crazy. Now, it appears as though we also have water and horse food, as well as actual food for our troops to eat. That is interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. So that is going to be very, very important to take care of. So there are 3 different resources that you're going to have to be careful of. All right, so I'm actually going to get a couple more pieces of food, and we'll buy some more water as well. And I need oat sacks. Oat sacks. Okay, for horse food. Okay, so I don't have any oat sacks right here otherwise, so I was actually wanting to maybe, yes, it's in the horse merchant menu, of course it is. So there is a heavy Jerusalem warhorse as well, so if you want a much better horse than what you start with, even though this horse is actually pretty fantastic as it is, then you know what to do. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the weapons as well. Wow, heavy great long axe, that's pretty awesome. Crusader sword, an Italian spear axe. Whoa, okay. Might wanna do something about that. That seems like a pretty cool weapon. And then we got a whole bunch of different shields and things like that. A throwable mace. You could also use it as a melee weapon, like a javelin. Ooh, sounds cool. And then, of course, we have the armor. Wow, the armor is not even that expensive, and the strength requirement is very, very low as well. That's very nice. That means that you might be able to wear one of these almost instantaneously, which I think is really cool. Obviously, because I have made a noble unit, basically a noble character, and a knight character, it is much, much easier for me to get geared up, and I generally will start with some decent gear. Anyway, there's actually a local mercenary group right here, and we can recruit them for 1,200 dinars, which I think I'm actually going to do, because I would like to see exactly what that does. So as you can see, it basically just adds a whole bunch of extra units into my army here, which I'm very pleased about, to be honest. Okay, can I do that again? Seems like I will need to wait maybe a day or two for us to, you know, get something from that. And it seems like I cannot. Wait a minute. Have I? No, I don't have a full army at all. But yes. Oh, hello. Okay, hello. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so they actually attacked me with only nine units. But I suppose this is pretty cool because we actually get to experience the battlefield, which, in my opinion, is looking fantastic. I mean, it's just so in keeping with the theme. Thematically, it's fantastic. And also, we have birds in the air. Have you seen these? Have you seen those birds over there? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And hopefully I'll be able to use my lance relatively effectively. Now, as I've seen, apparently you can break your lance in this mod as well, because there are a number of other mods that do tend to have the lance breaking mechanic. I know there's a bit of a split on whether that's a good thing or not, because generally lances are going to be quite strong, because I mean they are designed for that. But you know, well, anyway, the point is that that's a fine decision in my opinion, considering we do have a number of cavalry that start with lances, and they're going to be more than easily able to basically kill anything with that initial charge, which is pretty fantastic. Now, I'm just going to continue, you know, walking along to these various villages. Seems like we cannot recruit from villages, and we can only recruit from towns, but I'm actually just going to see whether that is actually the case. So we're going to teach these guys to defend themselves. And, well, there's actually local religious affairs. Donate to the local religious institution. Oh, interesting. So we can do that as well if we want to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to train these guys, and maybe, just maybe, if I have a positive relation with the village, I will be able to then recruit some volunteers. Alright, so we're just going to start the practice fight right here, see if I can do something. I mean, I think I will be able to, because let's face it, my polearm proficiency is utterly fantastic. As you get ready to continue the training, a sentry from the village runs up to you, and we are going to have to face some bandits. Hopefully I have my own gear. Yes, I do, so this is going to be pretty... Oh, I don't even know whether this is going to be pretty easy, because I don't have any of my own units available, so we might have a bit of trouble, but as it stands right now, it seems like the bandits do not have the best gear, so I will be able to deal with them relatively easily. And after this, what I'm going to... Oh, okay. Did you see that? They just did so much damage to my horse. My horse is actually a pretty decent mount. Well, it looks as though our peasants and our training have paid off. Amusingly enough, the instructor, i.e. Barney, was eliminated much faster than anyone would have expected. But it's okay, because we were victorious, and... I'm not going to take anything from them because I did actually die, so that was pretty bad. Anyway, looks as though we cannot recruit any additional volunteers from the village here, even with positive relation with them. So it seems as though we will not be able to recruit in general from villages, and instead we will be recruiting from towns. So that's pretty interesting. As you can see, hire a local mercenary group for another 1,200. So yeah, that's pretty expensive, I gotta say. That is pretty expensive, but you can see here that we've gained a pretty significant amount of people so far. So I'm just gonna go for an additional point in leadership right there, just so that we can actually, you know, just get that even number going. And who knows, maybe we can actually get some people from the castle. Yeah, by the way, the reason why I died in that particular village fight is because of my current difficulty settings. Generally, when it's a special feature, I would like to show off as much... Oh, there's actually a tavern in this castle. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I would like to show off as much of the mod as possible. And, well, in general, having my difficulty settings on a very high percentage is usually a good way of demonstrating whether the mod is well balanced or not. Because, obviously, if you die in one hit... I mean, not in that case, because I obviously did get hit in the face, which was obviously kind of harsh, but you know, that's just how it goes. And you know, if you were to die from just a normal attack, then it might be a bit too powerful, so to speak. So anyway, we're just gonna be moving along here, and we'll see if yeah, so it seems like there's actually a tavern and a marketplace in every single castle as well. I think that's actually a really cool thing, but I'm gonna need to do some damage, to be honest. I'm gonna need to do some damage to some enemies very soon indeed, so we can actually start getting some cash. So I will just wait here for some time. Maybe we'll participate in a tournament as well, and I will take a look at the camp and reports menus to see whether there's anything there that I may have missed. Alright, so mod options. That is something that we definitely want to take a look at. Okay, so we have the ability to disable the shield bash, disable bodyguards, disable the new animations of holding the shield on the horse, and disable play as a soldier after player knocked out. So that's actually really cool. I like that. I like that particular option. I think more mods should definitely have that. Then we can reward army. I think I probably don't have enough cash to be able to do that just yet. You can wait here for some time, inspect your camp, and you can also take an action. So you can actually change your title if you have a title. Unfortunately, I don't have one. You can change your religion as well. As you can see, we're a Christian apparently. And we can now recruit some of the prisoners, select a book to read, and all that stuff. So let's take a look at the reports menu. Okay, so the reports menu so far seems pretty standard fare for the moment. I was actually hoping for a troop tree, if at all possible. You can actually set your party's name, so you can actually, you know, simply by my name. Yes, there we go, Barney. Yes, that's absolutely fantastic. So you can take a look at the character report, party size report, all these things. Very normal stuff. And then you obviously have courtship relations and things like that. So obviously that's going to be pretty important, I would say. And the weekly budget, yeah, we're not doing well in terms of the weekly budget, but you know, I just need to fight some more bandits, I suppose. Or I can fight someone like this. So let us rush to the aid of Mr. Gilbert here. He is outnumbered at the moment, and I'm a bit worried that I will not be able to actually help him effectively here, because as you can see, I actually don't have a huge amount of health. And we are playing on these difficulty settings. You can see this right here, 76%, and this is just because, as I said, it's probably a good idea to just take a look at mods with this particular difficulty setting, so you can actually see how balanced or imbalanced a particular mod might be. Ouch! I died. That hurt. But we do get the opportunity to play as another soldier, which is the reason why it's always a good idea to take a look at those camp menus and things like that, because now it means that I can actually charge in once again with another lance, and we can have a huge amount of fun with... I was actually hoping we could have a huge amount of fun with it, but I managed to miss, so that's just how it is sometimes. Anyway, let's see if I can maybe take out some of their archers. Yes. And, ooh, he's got a... Is that a blunt mace? That is a blunt mace. I'm actually very, very pleased that these guys have blunt maces. I can't imagine how incredible these guys would be at taking prisoners. So it seems like prisoner management might be a very important skill to take in this mod, because if you're able to do that and then find a ransom broker, you're going to be in a really good position to sell huge amounts of bandits and various other units to them, and then you're going to be making money that way. Because I've explored around a little bit in the world. I've explored a variety of different castles, towns, and so on, and it doesn't look as though there is an arena. There doesn't seem to be an arena or any tournaments going on at the moment. And I think that that is obviously on purpose, because in these times, historically, it's highly... I would say it's probably highly unlikely that there would be any tournaments or arenas of any kind, and as a result, I mean, there might be, but in this mod there isn't, by the looks of things, because I have, as I said, gone through the various towns. There's no arena to speak of, and so there is obviously no tournament. But that's fine, because as I say, prisoner management seems to be the way that you probably want to go and spec your character, so that's a recommendation from me. If you're going to play the mod, I'd recommend going with, well, if you go with my choices, then you're obviously going to have 14 charisma, and so I would say specking probably 3 or so prisoner management would probably make sense. Anyway, there you go. We helped this guy. He's got a little bit of extra relation with us, which is pretty nice. I would say that's pretty nice. And we were able to see a much larger scale battle, which I always appreciate. And now, here's the cool thing. I only have 1 prisoner management, right? And I am able to take 12 prisoners. So you can do the math. You can do the math there. You can basically see exactly what's going on with that, which I think is just really awesome. I have 0 money right now. I'm gonna need to take all of these and sell them to a nearby ransom broker. Just when I thought I couldn't get any more wrong, yes, there's actually tournaments. There are actually tournaments available in the mod, and I stand corrected. I stand corrected, because I thought to myself, okay, well, there's no arena, so that must mean that there are no tournaments, but I'm actually incorrect about that. As you can quite clearly see, there are tournaments, and you're going to be facing them in some pretty cool environments as well, so I actually really like that. And I guess we'll see if I'm actually able to progress to the final round. I know in the first round, I think you only need to eliminate one enemy, and then you can just, skip ahead. But I'm actually just going to make sure that that is indeed the case, because I know that if you get two kills, then you are 100% going through. So yeah, well, we're just going to do that. There we go. All right, so let me just... I actually have a little bit of cash, because I actually got 500 from the battle previously. I still haven't found a ransom broker, by the way, so I have about 500 cash to bet on myself, and hopefully that is going to see me through to the final round, because as you can see, these guys, they're all knights, and then obviously we have Dranton and Zarina here, and they're going to be kind of harsh too. Alright, so it's the final round. We are up against a knight, And it seems like Zarina and Dranton have been eliminated previously, so I don't actually need to worry about them any further, which is actually really nice, because you know them, they're actually very, very powerful. And there you go, we actually took him out. That's pretty cool. And we gained 3,800 dinars, 20 renown, all that wonderful stuff, and then we can continue onward and hopefully find a ransom broker. Oh, let me tell you, it is very difficult to find ransom brokers. I don't know whether they have fixed positions or not, but I had to go through about 6 towns to be able to find this one. And this one is in Cyprus. Yes, I had to come all the way over here. It's crazy. Okay, so otherwise we're going to be selling all of my prisoners. How much am I going to be making? Wow, look at that. 1,668 only for 12 prisoners. So yeah, going and recruiting these local mercenary groups and getting the mounted units, that is a pretty fantastic idea. That is a really, really good way to go. Now, what I've otherwise done is I've actually spec'd a little bit more into prisoner management. I now have 52 in space in terms of, you know, being able to take that many prisoners, and that is actually really, really cool. I only have 5 points in it, and it is really good. That is a really, really good thing, because it actually displays that it's going to increase it by 5 only, which is the default, you know, default text, but it is actually changing something different. So that's actually really nice. Alright, so I have just joined the Kingdom of Jerusalem as a mercenary, and as you can see, they've given me 6,000 dinars to start, which is actually kind of crazy, and I am going to immediately try a siege, because obviously in a special feature, I want to try and show off as many of the game mechanics as possible, and, you know, a siege is just another one of those. Alright, so I have come to the nearby castle of Banias, or Banias, and it took 7 hours. I only have 3 in engineering, and it took 7 hours to build these ladders, which is actually really awesome in my opinion. So we're going to be leading these soldiers in an assault. I have about 140 troops, and we'll see how we do. Now, these guys are obviously kind of, they're not really high level or anything like that, but we do have, there are siege equipment. There is unique siege equipment in this mod. And I don't think that we have any of those at the moment, but from what I can see on the download page, there's all kinds of things. They're actually working on an additional siege engine as we speak. So for the next version of the mod, they are working on something else, which is actually kind of awesome, and definitely something that I am very interested in, because obviously mixing up and just changing the siege mechanics in any way is beneficial to the modding community, because being able to do that and then basically being like, oh, look at this is a completely different way of besieging a castle. And, you know, it's really cool. I know that started way back with Brittenwalder, and it has just advanced in the years that the modding community has been working with Warband, and I think that that's absolutely fantastic, because being able to have the variety and the difference of siege engines and the difference of how you can actually get in, for example, I mean, just look at this. How are we going to get in here? I actually have no idea. There's blood here and everything. What's going on with that? That's cool. I'm actually unsure whether that's actually a thing, because I actually really appreciate that, because obviously Warband in general does not have a lot of blood, and that's not very realistic. So, you know, it would be kind of nice to have a little bit of extra, you know, a little bit of extra textures here and there, a little bit of extra blood all over the place. And we'll see. Hopefully my blood is not going to be anywhere here. Well, we'll see. Anyway, I am actually able to deal some pretty considerable damage at the moment, mainly because I do have 5 in Power Strike, so that's pretty nice, but unfortunately I am going to, yes, it's going to be one of these, isn't it? It's going to be one of these problems where we are not really able to get past, at least at the moment. I might be able to do some damage here, but it's basically the special feature is just to take a look at the siege and how it actually acts and things like that. So as you can see, that seems to be it. I will not be able to take control of someone else in this particular siege, which is unfortunate. I think that battles are probably going to be the main thing that you can, you know, take control of your people in. But you can see here that everything is very faithfully recreated, and I feel like they've done a fantastic job. I mean, just look at it. Look at this. I mean, you can go in here. You can actually go in here. So if you penetrate the initial defenses, you can go in here. You can go up these stairs, and you can slaughter all these archers and everything. And obviously, my forces, they just weren't up to the task at the moment. I would not have done this siege if it wasn't for a special feature, obviously. But it's really nice to see these kinds of things in action and still being made around this time. I think it's been 9 years now since Warband has been released, and people are still working on mods for it, and that's dedication for you. If you'd like to show some support for the mod creators, there is a link in the description. You can go to the Steam Workshop page, and then you can just subscribe to it if you are logged in on your Steam account, and then you will be able to initiate a download, and then you can start playing almost immediately. It's very, very simple to get those Steam Workshop mods installed. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching this special feature, and I will see you next time.